Hey Taylor Army, episode 2 today of All Things Taylor from my tiny house on wheels. Yay! I wanted to do a whole separate video based around pretty much just one question. I believe it was from at Charlotte Fan 4E1. They asked what has been my pretty much my toughest opponent to date. And I kind of thought about it, and I thought about it, and then I thought about it some more, and then some more, and then I kind of realized that my answer probably wasn't going to be what they exactly were thinking it would be, or wanting to hear, or clickbait, or whatever, but I thought it would kind of actually be something cool to briefly talk about in a second short video today. Since I love my Taylor Army, why not do 2 videos in one day? Why not? Can never have enough Taylor Hendrix, right? Anyways. So they asked me pretty much what my toughest opponent was, and I started thinking about pretty much every person I have ever wrestled throughout my entire career, and what I came up with was me. I am the toughest opponent I have ever had throughout my career, and that sounds very one-sided and very egotistical or whatever you want to call it, but it's the truth. When you're in this kind of business, you a lot of times you're not really taught how to get yourself out of situations or prepare yourself for certain situations or how to handle certain things. And I feel like there's been a lot of things in my career that I wasn't either A, prepared for, B, mentally strong enough to handle, C, mature enough to handle, or whatever the case may be. I started wrestling when I was like freshly 17 years old. I was very, and still to this day, I still feel at times I'm very naive. I'm very gullible at times, and I've always had this mentality where I like to treat everybody how I would want to be treated, and that I think everyone's a good person until proven otherwise. And those kind of mental philosophies have really messed me up. As far as a lot of situations that I've been put in or found myself in my wrestling career. Wrestling doesn't necessarily attract the the most amazing human beings on the planet. It's kind of interesting. We're promoted as like a family type of sports entertainment a lot of times, but yet on shows there's rapists, sexual harassers, child molesters, people that literally promote like child pornography or promote those websites that literally campaign to get people to try to kill themselves and all this other stuff. And it's like, how can you say that you're a family friendly show when you have these types of people on the shows, or you're promoting this type of behavior? And when companies are recruiting people so young, you're basically preconditioning people like me to think some certain things are okay. I've been in a lot of situations or seen a lot of situations or heard about a lot of situations where it just makes you go, what the? Early on in my career, when I was around 18 years old, I heard about girls getting videotaped in locker rooms. And that was maybe when I was 17 or 18 years old. I'm turning 30 in like 5 days, and that's still happening today. So you do the math. Bullying and anti-Semitism and everything. There's so much hate in the professional wrestling industry. It's insane. So much. Just this week alone, I saw suicide jokes on social media where someone was like, yo, you should just freaking kill yourself. Or someone making a joke about Ashley Massaro, committing suicide. How is that funny? The answer is it's not. And then there was someone who is gay bashing, someone who is an amazing representative of the LGBTQ community. Why would you think that's funny? Why would you think that sort of hate is okay? And then racism, I don't understand it. It's 2019. There is no excuse for racism. There's no excuse for any sort of hate like that. And when I came forward about harassment, there were people calling me a racist. But in my mind, I was like, you calling me a racist for coming forward about things that happen to me makes you a racist, not me. So there is just so much hate going on. And then also this week, I saw a post by somebody in the business that was joking about like anal sex and about just forcing it on people. And I thought to myself, how is that funny? So I really don't think that a lot of people are prepared for certain things like this particular style of bullying that happens, and the hazing and the just the downright hate and disgustingness that is the behind the scenes, the behind the curtain that not everybody sees or talks about, because either A, people are afraid of being blackballed, which is complete BS, or B, there's people that are participating in it that don't want it exposed because they're also benefiting from it, and that doesn't matter whether they're male or female, you know. So I really do feel like I have been my toughest opponent, because mentally this business wages war on you and how you choose to react to things, and the human being you end up becoming. And if you're not careful, you can find yourself becoming someone that you never thought you would be, and not in a good way, you know, in a bad way. And you can start heading down, you know, very bad paths depending on who you're surrounded by. You know, it's scientifically proven that you become like the 5 people you spend the most time with. So you should really be choosing those people wisely, you know. And if people talk a lot of crap about other people, they're probably talking a lot of crap about you. And I've always been one of those people that's I don't want to say ride or die, because I feel like that's been overused by a lot of shady people, but I'm pretty much the type of friend that's now in my, you know, now that I've had a lot of experiences with a lot of different kinds of people, I am the type of person that is so loyal to the point that I will defend you even when I know you're wrong. I will defend your right to be wrong. And then privately, I'll be like, yo, you're kind of being a, you know what I'm saying? And I was always the type of person behind the scenes that would defend people, but not go and tell that person that I'm defending them, because I don't defend people or situations to get something out of it. I do it because I believe in it, or I believe it's the right thing to do no matter how hard it is. You know, and it's really funny because a lot of the people that I have defended, they actually went and kind of like stabbed me in the back, you know? So it was kind of like I indirectly helped them twist the knife that they stabbed me in the back with, and like, you know, twisted it through my major organs or something. So these are a lot of things that a lot of people struggle with, and not everyone talks about them. You know, whether you're in the wrestling industry or not, these things aren't, you know, just particular to wrestling. And it takes a lot of maturity, a lot of calling yourself out on your own BS, and a lot of just mental toughness. And I've never had very tough skin, so there's always been situations where I would be very butthurt about things and like have my feelings hurt and stuff. And then it wasn't until about the last year of my career when I finally got that tough skin that I needed, and kind of started to have that mentality of 0 F's given. You know, I don't speak girl. And I think that's what's also gotten me into a lot of interesting situations. I do not speak girl. I do not understand girl interactions very well. I'm kind of the person, I used to be a person that tried to be friends with everyone, just because I, you know, peace, love, joy, and happiness, like the hippie inside of me just wants everyone to get along and do the right thing, right? But that got me into a lot of bad situations, because not a lot of other people are like that, you know. And when you're expecting people to give to you what you give to them, it doesn't work that way, you know. So, oh man, yeah. So having to deal with all of those things, you know, like getting beat up in the ring, or getting attacked by people making fake accounts on social media, or, you know, getting underpaid or unbooked because someone offered a cheaper price, or because you're friends with someone, they unbook you, or all these different things. Or, oh my God, you have the same seam on my butt like I do, so you can't be on this show. Like literally some like stuff as petty as that. So I really do feel like I have been my toughest opponent, because there was, I didn't have the type of mentality to be in this business, but I've still wanted to be a good person and continue to grow. And now that I feel, you know, I've essentially proved that you will not be blackballed if you come forward about whatever it is that you need to come forward about, you know. And that was so liberating. It took such a weight off of my shoulders, but it took me my entire career to figure that out and to understand who I am as a person, instead of who other people want me to be because it serves them, you know. And now I have like 0 F's given. I really don't care, and I kind of just do my own thing. And it seems like the more I do that, the more I'm helping other people as well as myself. And it took me literally almost 13 years of pro wrestling to really understand that, and to not just understand it, but implement it and be consistent with it. Because you can say one thing, like a lot of people say one thing with one side of the mouth and they're doing another with the other side of their mouth. You know, people talk out of both sides of their face, you know, but that becomes transparent after a while. So let the trash take itself out and just be yourself, do you, be free with your authenticity. But to get to that point, you really have to be willing to work on yourself and call yourself out on your own bullshit. So I really have been my toughest opponent to date, because really the only person I'm competing with is myself. I could be in a locker room full of, you know, 5 other redheads, which I have been. And I still stand out because I'm always going to do me, and I'm always constantly innovating. I'm always trying to do the next phase, the next this, the next that. I'm not trying to be somebody else. I'm not trying to do somebody else's gimmick like I've been accused of in the past. I have literally had girls hurt me on purpose. And yeah, I'm still here today. I had a girl legit at a live television taping steam several layers of my skin off with a clothes steamer. And I watched my skin melt like it was that movie House of Wax. And I watched my skin drip off of my body and melt and attach itself to the dress I was wearing. And I still had to walk out there within 2 minutes or so of that happening and cut a promo for a live television taping. Like, that's the kind of stuff I had to deal with. And then several years later, that same girl fractured my ankle. But who put myself in the ring with that person again? Me. What did I learn from that? I need to wake the heck up, drink a cup of coffee. I hate coffee, by the way. And just realize that some people, they're not for you and they're not with you. And you just got to move forward. You can't be worrying about other people's hurt feelings because people will be talking like they like you, but then they're also talking like they freaking hate you. So it really all depends on who they're around. And if they're talking crap to you about other people, you best believe that they're talking crap about you too. It's a very self-serving business, and to think anything else is very immature and unwise. And it took me my whole career to learn that. So for me, being my own worst critic, my toughest opponent and everything, I was always a perfectionist. So my matches all had to go perfectly. If one little thing was off or whatever, a lot of people want to say I'm like some sort of drama queen or something. I hate like confrontation because I just think it's so freaking stupid. Like, somebody's going to get in your face and say all this crap. But like, if you guys are on the street where you, like, they wouldn't be talking all that crap because they're just full of, so for me, I really was my my toughest opponent because I was always competing against myself and never realized how I was indirectly self-sabotaging myself, thinking that, other people were just like me. You have to realize that you're in this for yourself, not for anybody else. You got to do it because you love it, and then you always win. This business is a rigged game, and the only way to win is by not playing it. You know what I'm saying? It's like playing a game of Monopoly. I told someone recently. It's like playing a game of Monopoly and the banker is shoving money under the board for them to keep. And then you wonder why you're out of money and you're out of properties and you're bankrupt, and they win. Freaking duh. So the best way to win a rigged game is by not playing. Do you, be you, get your own rules, and constantly be working on this up here. Like, self-talk is so important. Like, I was such in the down in the dumps that I thought about just like getting out of the business entirely. And then now I'm like, wow, I'm loving what I'm doing. I'm loving my life. I'm loving everything about everything that I do every single day now. Like, I'm excited to turn 30 in 5 days. So excited. I am way more confident at 29 turning 30 as opposed to when I was doing my gut check at 22 turning 23. Like, that's crazy to think, because so many people have these, what is it called? Quarter life crisis or whatever. Me, I'm just like, yes, give me those 30 balloons. I am ready. You know what I'm saying? And that took a lot of hard work, a lot of crying, a lot of days, a lot of like times where I'm just looking in the mirror, realizing how many things that are negative that I say about myself based on what other people have said about me or done to me. And it's like, you can't cry over those people, you know what I'm saying? Because they're not going to cry over you. And, someone put it to me like this. Actually, my fiance Corey did. He's like, these other people's opinions about you or what they did to you is like drinking poison and expecting them to die. You die a slow, painful death and they keep moving forward. So why drink the poison to begin with? And it's literally that simple. Most of these people don't care about you unless it's convenient for them and it does something for them. A lot of these people that are supporting other people on social media, it's not because they like that person for real or that they want that person to do well. They want the rub. You know what I'm saying? When there's a hot topic, you'll see them talk about it. Why? Because they want those followers. They want that attention. But do those people really care about certain things? Probably not. It's the same reason why they're talking about solidarity and we're all a family and all this and that. If we were all a family, why are they all hooking up with each other? Because I'm pretty sure I don't want to go and hook up with my family members. Like, that's just gross. You know what I'm saying? So like, you got to read between the lines and realize if someone's actions aren't matching up with what they're saying, then there's something going on there that you need to realize and realize that a lot of that BS doesn't need to be in your life. You know, we get brainwashed into this cult-like mentality of pro wrestling, you know, in the wrestling industry. And Hollywood has it, and all these other industries have it too. But for whatever reason, pro wrestling has been such an impenetrable, unpoppable bubble of just Charles Manson like cult mentality of all this crazy crap. So when you think about it, a lot of us really are our toughest opponents because we're listening to all these critics. You know, we have all these wrestling websites and people that critique these matches that have either A, never set foot in rings, or B, the only people that they're giving positive ratings to and positive articles about are the ones that are secretly their friends, but they're not even really friends. These people think that those wrestlers are their friends, but in reality, these wrestlers are just sucking up to them so they can get those positive reviews and positive articles and all this buzz. It's all a work. It really is. And this is the stuff that people don't want to talk about, but they should. You know what I mean? Just like lift the freaking curtain and realize the great and powerful Oz is just a man with a keyboard. It is that simple. And once you realize that, it's like, all this weight is lifted off your shoulders. You're not yelling at yourself in the mirror anymore. Now you're talking great about yourself. You're getting up excited about every day. These are the things that took me my entire career to learn. And now that I am living my best life doing me. My health is better, my happiness, my everything. And I feel like my fans can feel that too. And I feel like it's becoming contagious. It's infectious. Other people want to be like this too, and it's great. More people should be this way. Why invite so much negativity into your life with all this crazy rigged BS? Let the trash take itself out. They'll like a picture of your food before they like your success. Bitches are like treasures. Just like I said on social media, you got to bury that shit so nobody else will find it. If you do not speak up, if you do not say something when you see something, then you are also part of the problem. And that's why I'm saying I was my toughest opponent, just like everybody else is their toughest opponents. The difference is I'm willing to say it. I will call myself out on my own BS. But at the end of the day, I'm doing me and nobody else can do me better than me. And that is power. That is confidence. That is a whole career of working hard to be that. I'm going to leave better than the way I came in when I started. And that is going to be the best. I have zero regrets, zero Fs. I regret nothing about working on myself and coming to terms with self-talk, self-confidence, self-belief, and just getting up every day and doing what needs to be done. It's my life. I'm doing me. You guys can too. Realize that you are your own toughest opponent and turn that around to the point where you are no longer your toughest opponent. You're your biggest supporter. How awesome is that? Thank you, Charlotte Fan 4E1. That was a great question. Thank you guys. Like and subscribe.